Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Alice. We talk about books. We sometimes do some lifestyle and vlog content. So if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background whilst you make yourself a meal, clean your room, do that thing you've been putting off for the longest time, or you just want someone to listen to, then I'm your gal. So consider hitting that subscribe button. It is free. You can unsubscribe at any time. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. Let's get on with today's video. We're back with another, you guessed it, yes, it is another Lord of the Rings video. We have finished the second Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Now, obviously, if you are new here, I have been listening to these on Audible, narrated by Mr. Andy Serkis. And honestly, I could not recommend it enough. You know, Audible are always doing these free trials. Do it and listen to one of them because life will change forever. Obviously, this is not sponsored by Audible. Wish it was. It's my new favourite thing at the moment, like genuinely. I'm actually obsessed, but it's okay, we're fine. So we're actually on to the Return of the King now, which is crazy, so stay tuned for that because that video will be coming soon. But today we're going to talk about The Two Towers. This is the physical copy I have, and yeah, it's just great. Look at that little map, you know, loving life. Gondor, that was really good. Should I become a voice actor? They're taking the Hobbits to Isengard. Okay, maybe my Boromir is a bit better than my, but that's fine. Anyway, swiftly moving on, let's actually talk about it. I mean, I really enjoyed this book. Arguably, I think I enjoyed this more than the first because it was just great. It's what I always say, the second books and the third books, as long as they're not like silly, they're always better than the first one because you've got more connection to the characters, you're more deeply rooted. And whilst I will say I have given it the same score, yeah, if you remember, then you'll know what I've given it. I have given it the same score, but then I think that might drop the Fellowship of the Ring down by 0.5. But that's okay. I gave this book 9.5 out of 10. I know, gosh, it's so high. It was absolutely a 5-star read for me. Well, listen, but I count it as reading. Yeah, I just had a great time, to be honest. And the thing is that I can't even work out if it's the book I love so much. I mean, it definitely is. But also, I think it's just the experience of it, because having it read by Andy Serkis is just, I can't even explain it to you. Like, it's better. I feel like it's better than you ever could imagine because it just does it all so perfectly for you. That's my experience anyway. 9.5 out of 10 without doubt, which then does bump the Fellowship down to 9 out of 10, I believe. It doesn't mean that the Fellowship can't be 9.5 as well, because it kind of was at the time, but I think compared to this one, I enjoyed it a bit more, even though this one is kind of like that in-between vibe book where it just kind of like moving the plot along. I actually really did enjoy it. Good job, The Two Towers, where we get the fantastic meme of they're taking the Hobbits to Isengard, Isengard. If you've ever watched that remix, then you are a real one. I mean, like I said, I'm just getting into the whole Tolkien, however you want to say it, universe. I only watched Lord of the Rings a couple of years ago, and now I'm reading them now. But I do very much appreciate that meme, so let me know if you like that one down in the comments below. I feel like it's just a classic. Honestly, I've been enjoying it. You know, the one thing I think that would accelerate this whole experience beyond belief is that if they just had a little bit of like the film soundtracks every now and again just in the background, so you know, like when Frodo's having his moments and just having the I just think it would be great. But anyway, I don't know how that would be possible, but sounds good. Sounds like a good time. There's certainly less songs in this book. There are still some songs, but less than the first one. We didn't have oh Tom Bombadil, Tom Bombadillo. Honestly, I mean, he was mentioned once and I was like, oh god, oh no, is he coming back? But he's alright. That might be a spoiler, but no, he did not return in this book, so don't worry, Tom Bombadillo is not coming back. Okay, shall we get into the review then? As always, trusty dented laptop. One day I will tell you about the dents, but as always, today is not that day, guys. It's gonna have to have its own video because I want to make a competition of guessing how those dents got there, because it is so wild. Start leaving your guesses down below. Go on. 9.5 out of 10, we know this. Gave it a 5-star. Obviously, it's not a spicy book. Don't read The Lord of the Rings for spice. Yeah, animal. Yeah, go find something else. This is not a spicy book. And would I recommend this book? Yes. obviously I would say you need to read The Fellowship of the Ring first, or listen to it, or however you want to do it. But I would say, now I'm second book in, I think the first book I was like, yes, I would recommend to some people, but to be honest, I'd just say you should read it like once in your life. It's just a bit of fantasy, it's adventure, it's fun, there's like nice things going on in there, like nice friendships forming, and I think it's a good, well-rounded book. That's my honest opinion, alright? So let's unpack the review. I love this book. I was literally so invested in it. I got to the point where I was just constantly excited to go and work out, whether it was at the gym, whether it was on a walk or run, just for the fact that I could listen to this book. And whilst I really enjoyed listening to The Fellowship, I didn't have that same kind of drive to come back all the time, just because I don't even know why. Like, I was into the story and really enjoyed it, but this one I was like, I want to go out and listen to it. Like, if I missed the day because people came on a walk with me, or if I went to the gym with my friend, like, I would miss not listening to this. It also got to a point where if I was cleaning or sometimes having a long bath, I would play this and listen to it whilst I was doing that. So honestly, it was a bit addicted, to be honest. I think this is why I'm giving this the 9.5 and The Fellowship the 9. Fingers crossed for the Return of the King, eh? That's what I'm saying. The plot development in this book was A-class, and the world building, I mean, it's just something else, isn't it? I genuinely think he's thought of everything. Anytime you could have a question possibly about something, some kind of area, some kind of group, some kind of person, like, I just feel like it's there. I feel like Middle Earth exists. It's a place, and I just think that's so impressive and so fantastic. So I mean, read it for that. In this one, because I am listening to, I keep calling him Mr. Circus. It's kind of a funny ongoing joke now. So if my boyfriend says, oh, who are you going for a walk with today or whatever, and I'm not going with my friend, I'll say Mr. Circus. And at first he was like, what? And I was like, Andy Circus. So, oh yeah. So now he'll be like, are you going for a walk with Mr. Circus today? And I just think, you know, he deserves to be called Mr. Circus, because he definitely, that's how I feel towards him. He's made this such a great experience for me, so I'm really, really enjoying that. Talking of Andy Serkis, in this book we get Gollum and Schmeagol, so you get all the voices galore. I mean, he's great at doing all the other ones as well, but obviously A++, because we get Gollum in here, and that is who he originally voiced in the films as well. So it literally, like, having that Gollum voice, and when you have those monster voices and the orc voices as well, that's what accelerates it up. Because I feel like in your head and when you're reading, you can kind of be like, oh, Frodo sounds like this, Sam sounds like this, but when you have those voices, they're quite hard to kind of do yourself, and I just think that just takes it to a whole new level. It's like literally like comes alive. That's how it feels. I feel like this has turned from a book review into just absolute awe of Andy Serkis, but he's just so talented. Like, he sings in the characters' voices, he'll say rhymes and poems, and I just think, wow. I want to look more into like how long it took him to make all of this and all of that, and also I'm really fingers crossing that he's also done The Hobbit. I feel like they must have just employed him to do everything, right? In which case I could end up actually listening to all of Tolkien's, what do we call it, armory? It's not an armory, what's it, repertoire, is that right? So like the you know what I'm talking about, Numenorian King, all that jazz. Children of the Dunedain, that's another one, isn't it? No, Children of Hurin. Oh, I don't know, there's something going on there, but you know what I'm talking about. All of those other ones, I feel like if he's voiced them all, then I'm in for the ride, baby. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. I just saw Naughty Girl. I mean, I do swear, but that was a bit intense. That was unnecessary, so we're going to stop. Buckling in, joining the ride, because I am here for anything that this man does. He just genuinely makes you feel like you're listening to a whole cast of actors, which makes it so much bigger than you just reading a book. In a way, it feels like you have all these people with you, like walking around. And I don't know if you've ever seen any of the Audible, again, not sponsored, but any of the Audible adverts and how they like create these things going on around you. That's generally how it feels. I do also feel like with the Audible experience, it has deepened my imagination. I don't know, because I haven't sat down and read it, but I do feel like I perhaps would have struggled. Like, I do have a very vivid imagination, but I think perhaps I would have struggled more getting into these books if I was reading it than having the imagination, because they are a lot to unpack, and they are a lot to commit to. So I don't know, maybe I would have struggled more if I was reading it, but I'm not, and I'm enjoying it nonetheless. So the only reason I I didn't give this book a 10 out of 10 is because in the first book, when it splits from book 1 to book 2, it's not too bad because all the characters are still together and they're kind of on this journey. But in kind of a mini spoiler, but kind of not, in The Two Towers we have book 3 and book 4, but it is split between 2 journeys that are going on at the same time, and I think that's really clever that we've got 2 stories going on at the same time. But by having them in book 3 and then suddenly like you get to the end of that and then you come to book 4, like I feel like it's hard to see some of the continuity because obviously these events are happening at the same time, right? And then they'll make a little reference to that, but then because you read book 3 so long ago, you don't necessarily remember those references as well. And also I think going into the next book, like if it starts, assuming it's book 5 and book 6, right? So if it starts with the Aragorn story, then I don't know how I'm gonna quite remember. I don't know, like I just feel like the middle was kind of like suddenly we stopped and then we went on to book 4 and then we went on to Frodo and Sam, and I feel like I did enjoy that, but just the continuity was a little bit like hard for me to grasp at some points. But that being said, I still really liked it. He definitely kind of made a few references, like looking at the same place as this person and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know, I just feel like because it was kind of separated, it was a little bit difficult, so I kind of want to get a little bit of the continuity back. So I know they are in separate places doing separate things, but I would have liked occasionally to have this POV and this going on, and then we check in with Frodo and Sam and then we do the same thing again. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of how I would maybe prefer it, but I also understand how that could get really confusing because then you're like, what's happening, who's going where? So I also see the appeal of splitting it into the books, but that is the only reason I literally docked it half a mark, because I couldn't dock it anymore. It was perfect in every other way, you know. I literally cannot wait for the 3rd book, but hashtag confession, I've already started it. I did say in my review cannot wait, but by the time I'm actually recording this, I have already started Return of the King and I'm here for it, loving it, thriving. I feel like I got 21 hours or something. Let's do this, buckle in, full speed ahead. All right, just honestly, what a ride. That's all I gotta say. What a ride. I'm so glad I finally got around to reading / listening to these books, and I would highly suggest that you do the same. But obviously, you know, it might not be for you, or you might have already read it, not really fancying it. That's completely fine. But I feel like this is such a good autumnal read as well. I don't know why, even though it's set kind of starts in autumn and it goes throughout years and all different things, it just gives me autumnal vibes. All right, so now is the time. Go pick up that book. We're in November, people. Can you believe it? We're in November, and that's what I got to say. Not a lot, eh? Not a lot. Just been waffling on for God knows how long. Well, anyway, that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read The Lord of the Rings in the comments down below, or if I've inspired you to, also let me know. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you very much. And as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye. One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. Oh! Go read it. Do as told. Thank you.